Hello, and welcome to this tutorial on Google Spreadsheets. In this video, I will show you how to make your first spreadsheet, how to put some data into it, and how to turn that data into a lovely chart. First, we need to start by signing into our Google account. I've already signed in, so we can head on over to my drive. Now, I'm using the new Google Drive that was just updated not too long ago. If you have not yet jumped over to the new drive, things might look a little different for you, but you can still access the same content. So, we start by clicking on New, going to our Google Sheets. And there we go. We've created our first Google Sheet. For the purpose of this tutorial, I will be populating my spreadsheet with data that I've collected for my daily water consumption, because I want to know how much water I'm using throughout the day. So, first, let's give our spreadsheet a title so we can refer to it if we need to. Next, we need to think of what we're going to put up here at the top for our titles. I'm going to start by typing in my activities. So all my activities are going to go down here in the first column. My second column is going to be put with how long I'm doing those activities, or how much, because some things might not necessarily deal with time. After that, I'm putting in how much water does one of those things require. And finally, what's the total water? Alright, so, first activity. Well, the first thing that I do when I wake up is I take a shower. How long? Well, that depends. Depends on the day, depends how long I feel like staying in the shower. But, on average, I spend about 15 minutes in the shower. How much water use? Well, I don't know for sure what my shower head is. When you buy them, they usually tell you what their water consumption is. On average, though, most water shower heads are now required to be at 9.5 liters per minute, LPM. Alright, we'll get to the total water later. I just want to fill in the rest of these things. Alright, next, I brush my teeth. Alright, how long do I do that for? 2 minutes. It's an average amount of time that I brush my teeth for. Now, the faucet, also, I don't know exactly, but on average, faucets are at 5.5 liters per minute. You can also figure this out if you still have the box or have just bought a new faucet. It'll tell you. Next, I'm going to put in how many toilet flushes that I do throughout the day. This can average, but I have 5 flushes. Now, again, toilet flushes consume a little bit more water. On average, the older style toilets are 13.6 liters per flush. Some newer ones have been reduced so that they're low flow toilets. And, they might be about half that, so 7. But I like sticking to 13.6 because mine's an old toilet. Alright, hand washing. I wash my hands about the same time as many flushes that I do. So 5 minutes, 1 minute per flush, and again back to our faucet, 5.5 liters per minute. And lastly, how how much water do I drink throughout the day? I drink about 6 cups. Alright. Now you can change this so that it's actually 6 liters if you like. Maybe you actually know how many liters you're doing, and these two sections will just be the same if you're doing that. Liters, and this will be 6 liters. You know, and then your total water over here will be 6 liters. But for this, I'm going to use cups because I like doing fun things. So, 6 cups. So now we need to figure out how many cups are in, or how many liters are in 1 cup. I already know that number. That's 0.236588 liters per cup. That's a crazy number, but I know it, and now you know it. Alright, so how do we figure out what this total water section is going to be? Well, there are 2 ways of doing it. You can figure out by multiplying these 2 values with a calculator, but I like doing something fancy, and that's called using technology. I have this thing called regex extract, and what it does is I give it some text, and I give it this regular expression value, and it will determine what I want. So I'm going to say, figure out this text, so B2, and use this regular expression. Star, and star. Alright, this all needs to be in quotations. Alright, so let me break this down. Simply saying that I want this thing to find a digit from 0 to 9, and this star represents 0 or more times. So find a digit that's 0 or more times. Then, if there's a period that exists, so 0 more times, and also find more digits if they exist. So it'll run through this text and it'll say, oh hey, look, I found a 1. Okay, I found a 5. Does it find a period? Nope. Does it find any more digits? Nope. So it should return just the number 15 and not even look at this. And if I do that over here, we're going to multiply that. Copy, paste. We're going to multiply that by our second value. It's going to do the same thing. Find a number, it'll find this period, and then it'll find the second number. And if I press enter, we should get a number. There we go. 142.5. Good. Alright. And I'm just going to increase the decimal point, because I like having 2 decimals. Alright, now we can just take this whole thing, we can copy it, and paste. And do the same thing for our second column. Just make sure that you're changing these values, because these need to move down to the next column. So, B3 and C3, and enter. There we go. Toilet flushes, same thing. B4, C4, enter. B5, C5, enter. B6, and C6. And let's just decrease this one. Increase 2 decimal places. Alright, looks like everything is okay. Now, let's just make this thing a little more fancier by surrounding it in a box, making this in its own little column, and I'm going to have a grand total down here for the amount of water that I used. And also, let's do some more math. Sum of a series of numbers and or cells. That's what I want. So my values are going to be all of these things. And close the bracket. Good. Showed up here and enter. So now I have the total amount of water that I've used. Good. Now that's a nice looking table. But that doesn't really show me anything. I want something with color or fancy. So let's go over here into this insert chart. Alright, and let's highlight our first section, add our range. Alright, highlight our first section, add another range, and highlight our total water. Good. Alright, so that's not the type of chart that I want, so I want to go over here. There we go. That's not right. Let's use row 1. There we go. Now we have this, total water, as our type. Good. We can also change this chart title by clicking Customize, and there, chart title. Let's go with Day 1 Water Usage. So you can choose whatever kind of chart you want. I personally like the pie chart because it has all these nice fancy colors and I can actually see the percentage. And it gives me a breakdown as to how big these things are. Once you're happy, click Insert. And you now have a chart attached to your table. And that's it. Have fun making your own spreadsheets.